Well, welcome back everyone, and welcome to Anglesey. Welcome to yet another session where my mics have failed me. Bear with me just for a minute. They do start working in a couple of minutes, so I'll voice over the intro and get us going. Yeah, we're back out on Anglesey. I've got Nige fishing with me to the left of screen, and then behind me, Tommy and Daz dropped us on this mark, and then decided they're going to pick a different mark for themselves. I'm not sure if that was tactical or not, but there we go. Now you can already see behind me a shoal of whitebait getting smashed by a mackerel, just making its way across centre of screen to the left, and that continues on all evening. I've witnessed this only a handful of times, but this was by far the busiest night for fish activity and just spectacles of nature. It was phenomenal. So I'll roll on some clips now.
Heading this way as well.
At this point, I'm just talking you through the tactics for the night. So for me, it was chasing huss and rays. Nige was still knocking out the mackerel, getting us plenty of fresh bait. And yeah, just talking about what was actually happening in front of us. There were dolphin, there was mackerel, there was bass, there was whitebait, there was shoals, literally black patches of fish in the water you could see from the shore, and that was without Polaroid glasses. And then right at this point is where I thought I'd got my first bite for the evening, and quickly realised as I picked the rod up, went to strike into it, could see which way the line's going. And it just happened to be one of the tinsel chuckers that had rocked up and started fishing over our right hand shoulder. I think the picture on my face says it all, really. Given that we've just come off the back of that LRF session of chasing the minis, it's a heavy setup today. So I've got my AirPower RXP and my brand new Creed, and both of those have got my Air Loop R10s on, both with big heavy duty pulley panel rigs. Now, because some people think they're being misled and deceived by constant changes of outfit, I would just like to point out the wet weather gear's on. We went through all 5 seasons in this session. We went from sweating in t-shirts to freezing cold, pouring rain. As you can see, the sun's just going down. The temperature drops quite dramatically, as you expect in September. And then not 5 minutes later, sun's gone down and we're back in a hoodie again. As you can see, still plenty of activity in the water, and I almost think there was too much activity in the water, if that makes sense. There was that much bait fish. It was impossible to try and get a bite. There just wasn't really much doing. I think Tommy managed a bass on a live bait rig, but other than that, it was a very, very quiet evening. I think the fish have seen Tommy's ugly mug.
Tommy's over there, look. You've got fish jumping over there, right in front of us here. All of that, look there. Nigel's still smashing them in. Absolute cracking evening. Just need some fish. Laddo next door has hooked into me. Oh yeah, look, right in front of us. Laddo who's mackerel bashing next door has hooked into me 4 times now. I think he's finally got the idea and wrapped up. Well folks, fishing continues to be slow, but when you've got sights like this, who needs to be catching fish? Like I say, I have an absolute cracking evening just watching nature, being out for fresh air. Sometimes that's what it's all about. If that rod just suddenly decided to go pop, 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 bang, I wouldn't be complaining either.
Well, with sunset, high tide at 10 p.m, we decided at 10:30 we were going to give it one more cast and call it quits. And that last cast resulted in a nice little double shot for me. So little whiting followed by a thornback ray just on the pulley setup. So I think the whiting's taken the bottom J hook, and then the thorny's come along, tried to snare the whiting, and ended up on the top circle hook. And just as I brought these in, Nigel's struck into a nice little thornback ray himself. So yeah, there we go. Double hookup and a double on a pulley rig for me. So not a bad way to end the evening. And with that, we called it quits and headed back to the cars, get some shut eye, and get out nice and early for a morning session.
Well, folks, morning. Welcome back. Last night we fished till about 11:30. Got back to the van at midnight. Didn't do an outro. Fishing was terrible. Views, scenery, company, all top class. Call me a sucker for punishment. I decided to stay over last night. I set an alarm for 4:30 this morning. I thought I'll get back out on the mark, fish it early doors, fish it sunlight and up. I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but it's chucking down. So the alarm went off, like I say, fished till about midnight. The alarm went off about 4:30. I heard the rain, switched that off, went back to bed for an hour. But you know what they say, fortune favours the brave. So like I say, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to enjoy my breakfast. Nice chilled out session. There's not a soul in the car park, so I haven't got to get down there and, you know, compete for spots or anything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have my breakfast, chill out, get dressed, get the all-weather gear on, and head down to the mark. Hopefully, like I say, hopefully there'll be a few more fish this morning. If nothing else, I need a mackerel for the hunt. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my breakfast and I'll see you down there.
Alright, well, here we are. All set up. Oh, that could be a bite. I'm not going to try and pull the wool over your eyes. I have had a very, very steady setup. I couldn't even tell you what time it is now, probably getting on for 8 o'clock. That is a bite. Or possibly spider crabs. Nope. Spider crab. Oh. So, setup wise, spider crab. Yep. Oh, little sods. Let's have a look. Yeah, setup wise, I've gone little and large today. Slight change of tactics with how quiet it was last night. Oh, there's a little knock then. So the rod that I've got in my hand at the minute is the Airlight 355 coupled with my Spyro RS 4000 reel. Bait wise, I've got worms on there at the minute, just on a simple 1 up 1 down. I've got a size 6 hook at the bottom and a 1 at the top. Itchy nose. And yeah, this is just going out straight in front of us. I've got some of that fresh mackerel from last night. We're going to switch to that in a little while. Just going to try the worms first because these are defrosted. I'd like to get a turbot. Turbot, I know there's a lot of gurnards about at the minute. So turbot I haven't had for the species hunt. Gurnards I haven't had for the species hunt. All would be welcome. Left hand rod is the Achios Creed. On there I've got my Air Loop R10. And we're running a big pulley pennel rig on there, and at the minute I've got sand eel baits on there, and I have seen again a couple of little twitches on there which indicates spider crabs, so it could be hard work. The rain did die off, it looks like it's set in again now to stay, so we're going to persevere. High tide probably in about 2 hours, so at 10:30 I think this morning. We'll fish till 12, maybe 1 o'clock. And then I've got places to be. Like I say, stayed over last night, so I don't want to push my luck too much. One of the reasons I wasn't in a massive rush to set up this morning is because last night, and Tommy's fished here a few times the last month or so,
it seems to fish better on the ebb, or at least it seems to have been fishing better on the ebb. And certainly last night, the only bites that me and Nige had, bloody spider crabs. Yeah, the only bites that me and Nige had last night were on the ebb, so we shall let's let go of it again. What I might have to do is put some pop-up beads on this. Oh, there's a little head shake then. Hey, double shot of dabs, just like that. So already a better start than last night. Let me bring you these up. I'll show you these. They're both lip hooked, so we should be able to get these away pretty quickly. There you have it then, on the airlight, double shot of dabs. Now the other change of tactics from last night, I've also brought down, clean that lens, see if I can get things a bit clearer for you. Unfortunately we are going to battle rain today, but like I say, we're getting to that time of season. You're going to have to put up with it, unfortunately. The other change from last night, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I haven't had a mackerel yet for the species hunt. I took big heavy rods down with me last night, so I didn't fancy having a mackerel bashing session. Nige was already pulling plenty out, but I brought down with me my Black Rock, it's a Geotrex ultralight little travel spinning rod. It's a 0.8 to 8 gram, 0.6 to 8 gram, and on there I've just got this little 4 gram metal, and yeah, we're just going to have a flick about. Last night there were loads of mackerel busting up, bass busting mackerel busting sprats. There was loads going on. I've just had another bite on that airlight, so this might be a bit of a part-time thing, but I'm going to pop down here. There's a bit of a crosswind blowing up now, so I'm going to go straight off the point. I'm going to see if I can find some mackerel, some herring, maybe some sprats, but this is a little bit small, a bit big for them. You never know, we might even find us a nice bass. Oh, that's a good bite. Bear with me. It's the thing with this little airlight, it's such a light rod. It's got a brilliant action. It'll absolutely ping a 3-ounce lead. And the smallest of the little flatty bites, like you've got a bloody shark on the end. See if he wakes up. It's holding low. See that? Little knock in the tip. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it or not. Oh, it's not a bad little flatty, to be fair. Let's just let him go nuts. Oh, yeah. Right. Very quickly, bring him all the way over, show you a close-up. It's deeply hooked, but we're going to get him unhooked and get him sent back. Might have to switch to mackerel sooner than I was anticipating. If these pests keep going, I'll switch out to mackerel sooner rather than later. Right, hopefully we're all sorted. I've rebaited everything, both rods are back out. I've tried to be clever with the GoPro so you guys can sit and watch those rods whilst you watch me lure fish. Maybe you won't be able to see them, I'm not sure. Maybe my physique is in the way. Let me tell you what, let me move you around slightly. It might be less in the rain. I can stand here and fish and you can watch the rods. There we go. Hopefully everybody's happy. First chuck then, let's see if we can find some mackerel. Just like that. God, the seas must be absolutely full of them. Can you see this rod tip? It's 0.6 gram rod. Mackerel are probably, I think, one of the best fighting fish in the water, and that's just a diddy one at that. But there we have it, a mackerel for the species hunt. I'm going to go and get this one carded up Happy days. Right, seeing as how that one was just a wee nipper, let's see if we can find his big brother. See what that fight's like on this tiny little setup. All these hoods are winding me up. But let's see what happens. There's a bit of current running past this. Well, we're on again, straight away. There literally must be so many of them. Step down here so you can, at risk of getting a booty, maybe you can see this rod tip. Oh, a bit more than a booty there. Oh, hey up, just woken up. Come on, little fella. Good old mackerel. It must be absolutely teeming with them. Now, I am going to keep this fella for bait today. But like I say, I haven't got any storage facilities. In fact, to tell you what, because there's that many of them, let's just see if we can. Oh no. Hey, mate. Off you go. See you later. Come on, I want a big one. I want a big one on this little light setup. Let's go. Right, we've had us fun now with the lures. I might make a small rig out just to go down here with some of them worm on for this. But it's time to concentrate on the bait fishing, I think. As like I say, we've only got 2.5 hours or so left. So let's get some fresh baits in the water. See if we can't winkle out a few more species. Maybe find a nice big huss or a ray. Just had a good little bite on the air light. Not sure if it's still there or not. It's a really good little rattle. I've put this one out at distance now. I think there's a sandbar in front of us, so I've tried to hit it over onto that instead. Yeah, another tiny little dab. And that's why it gives such a rattle. It's foul hooked. Just got it just under its gill plate. Hopefully that will come off. Oh, there we go. Down into that rock pool. On that next wave, and he's gone. There he goes. See you later, Mr. Dab. Just wondering, do I put, was that a bite? Or am I imagining things? Do I get rid of that little size 6 hook, put a bigger hook on, and a slightly bigger mackerel bait? See if we can't find some flounders. Maybe put some attractor beads on. Let's give that a go, shall we? Keen to try anything at this rate. Swapped hooks, so I've got size 1 hooks on both snoods now. Slightly bigger mackerel baits, hopefully. Get away from these small dabs and into a nice turbot. Having said that, we've just had another tiny little rattle, which I assume is going to be another small dab. I thought I just saw a bite on the creed a minute ago. The problem is there are that many fish in the water in front of us. You keep getting just fish bumping into your lines. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the GoPro, but there's literally like a slick, or what's the opposite, slick? Don't know, but there's just a line of bubbling water full of fish. The birds have been around working the sprats and stuff on the surface. You see the mackerel jump in. Dolphins have been passed again. If this rain had stopped, it'd be another pitch perfect day. We should also be coming to about high water, so hopefully, if the theories are right and it fishes better on the ebb, hopefully we'll start to see some bites on the bigger rod. Mackerel just jumping down here. It's just mad. Have we got anything on this? No. It's one thing that you do find when fishing for flatties. Flatties are a predatory fish, believe it or not. They tend to lie on the bottom and ambush stuff as it floats past. So if you are fishing for flatties, sometimes by just moving the lead and moving the bait, you know, a couple of feet could just be enough just to trigger a reaction. I think I've just fallen for a mackerel going past the line. Oh no, there we go. I think a mackerel's just picked up my bit of mackerel. I think I have literally just hooked up into a mackerel on the retrieve. See that tip going mad? Oh, oh, now then, it's 2 mackerel. Wow, mackerel on mackerel. Oh, has that just knocked my lead off? It has as well, hasn't it? You little shitbag. Oh, well, it's just lost me a 3-ounce lead, which means, fellas, you are coming home with me. Up, up, or not. Can't believe he's just knocked my lead off. You little sod. This is a little bit better. Bit more of a fight. Oh, hello. It's pulling back. Much after all this speak, it'll be a dogfish. What have we got? What have we got? It's not fighting like a mackerel, it is a dogfish and all. Oh. See what happens when you turn up. Tommy's just come down to join me.
Is that your first one?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah. Managed to stay away from them till you got here. There we go. Teeny tiny little doggy. I'd say that's probably the smallest one I've ever caught, I reckon.
I bring you up, you'll catch a rainer.
I'll catch a ray next, he says.
You'll catch a rainer.
It's got to be, like I say, it's got to be getting on for start of the ebb now. So hopefully, get some more mackerel on this and then we'll swap that bait and get some fresh baits out there.
Just instant action, yeah. Tell you what, these grew to like £20.
Oh man. I think pound for pound, they're probably the hardest fighting
Probably
fish.
the hardest fighting fish in the sea, yeah. Do you know what, yeah, all year I've been waiting to catch mackerel and I've just caught like 6 in less than 5 minutes.
It might be a big rod, but I thought I saw a couple of little bites on the creed and yeah, one rather greedy little dab decided to take a whole bluey. So there we have it, the creed. Absolute dab killer. Well, in case you can't tell, we're back at the van. Very, very slow session once again. Maybe I should have taken last night as a hint and gone somewhere else. Obviously the change of tactics work. We had plenty of little flatfish, that doggy as well. Yeah, good little session. Mackerel bashing kept us entertained. Tommy came down and joined me, so I didn't really do much filming after that. It was similar story, no bites, no takers on the big rod apart from that one greedy little dab. Yeah, it's a weird session. Maybe my thoughts on it, and this is purely just my hypotheses, is I think there's probably too much fish in the water. That many schools of mackerel and stuff and sprats and all that sort of stuff, I just think, is it causing too much noise and too much disturbance in the water for things like huss and rays, or is there just that much food about that they're, you know, picking your bait out's 1 in a million chance? Who knows? But cracking day to be out getting some fresh air, bit sweat through. I genuinely can't tell what's sweat and what's rain at the minute. Yeah, good to be out. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And as always, until next time, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and tight lines.